Hi, I'm Danny Butler, and this week we're back at Hawk's Nest where we're going to be doing a 70s versus 80s twin shock challenge. Obviously looking down, there's not much that's really 70s or 80s about the bikes, but we're going to be putting them through their paces because the Costa 2 day is coming up and, well, I'm not there. This is Trialtube. Now today, with a little bit of help from our Ben,
You made, obviously you can go from that bike to that bike, it's completely different.
we're going to try our best. When I say we, I mean he's going to ride these bikes really well and I'm probably just going to crash into stuff. But there's definitely a massive market right now for people taking care of these old gems in a fantastic manner to the point where they ride almost like a modern bike, depending on how much work you've put into them, and at the same time they're basically, shall we say, reliving their youth. Obviously not me and Ben, because when these bikes were out we were just a glint in our father's eyes, but yeah, I definitely think that there's a lot to be said for these, and well, there's just a massive revival. You know, the Costa 2 day is one of the trials that is definitely oversubscriber of riders. I've actually spoke to Ben and he said it's not even easy to get an entry now, so I'm going to find out why. Now, it's my turn. You've just seen Ben Butterworth handle this beast like a pro. I mean, it is his bike, but there's a few things that are going to catch me out straight away. The fact that the Bultaco has got a left-hand side back brake will probably mean I'll crash. The fact that it runs really slow, and I've been riding the Sherco, will probably mean that I'll crash. And, well, he tells me that it feels good, but I don't believe him because I'm probably going to crash. So I'm just going to have to try and get it fired up. So don't laugh at me too much because the bike's probably gone cold and I'm now going to cock this up royally and just be very careful at the same time because she's an old girl and I quite fancy an old girl sometimes. Right. Choke.
Neutral.
Neutral. There we go.
Just kick.
He's just told me it's going to go first kick. I'm so worried. I hate riding other people's bikes. Oh, she's a lefty. Bloody wonderful. Now, I'm gonna have a go at the section that Ben set out. No word of a lie, not an excuse. I've only rode this bike for minutes, genuinely minutes. Ask Ben Butterworth, he'll contest. I'm just gonna do this raw, probably in first gear, and off camera I was just laughing about how well this bike moves around. Obviously this isn't a history lesson about Bultaco this episode. This is about where twin shock trials is right now in the modern day, in the modern era. There's not a lot about these bikes that's super original Bultaco anymore. Frame, tank, exhaust, engine obviously, but it moves like a modern bike, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's more engineering gone into this bad boy than most things, but he's keeping the sport of the twin shock style alive. I'm going to try and ride it no stop to keep all you moaning happy. And I don't know, there's just a lot about them, you know. It does fire up first kick though, with very minimal effort. Don't know why I use my hand, but there we go. Right. Section 1. I can't hop it because I can't find the back brake. It's not easy, it's not light, but it's nimble. I can't describe it, it's weird. Now, for those of you that just watched that was pretty non-stop for me. For those of you that have just fell down, because obviously I love non-stop. Just because I don't do it doesn't mean I can't. It means I just like doing the other version more. And I can understand instantly why people have these bikes, build them in this manner, because I've just had an off-camera conversation with Ben Butterworth where we both agreed that to do this, you've got to see it for what it is. Yes, she's an old bike with a modern twist. And you know what? I have just thoroughly enjoyed myself to the point where, off camera, I don't need to ride the whole section, but I did, because it's good fun. Even to the point where, even starting it's good fun. She's got to do a bit of this shaky malarkey. Kick it like a small child trying to kick an osset. You get my idea? Not very hard. And she sings. Beautiful. I still don't like where the back brake is. Okay, sports fans. We're in the 80s, which means bikes improved vastly, especially this bike. When the Fantic came into the European market, all other brands struggled to sell their bikes instantly. Obviously made very, very famous by the likes of people like John Lampkin, and that very famous photo from an early Trialtube where he's on the back wheel and I put a spliff in his mouth. But basically, the Fantic was the pinnacle of trial sport at that time. Twin shock still, and going against the likes of early monoshock Hondas as such. So, yeah, it was good. Now, this one obviously has got some very modern suspension. The rear suspension has been brought forward on the swing arm to make it have a more modern feel. The brakes feel fantastic. The bike reacts fantastic. It's got bags of power and rides pretty modern. So, I'm going to be honest, it's possibly one of the most fun things I've ever rode in my life, and that is a big statement because I get to ride a lot of bikes now on the YouTube channel, and if this bike is one of the most fun things you can ride in trials motorcycling, then I feel like that says it all really. Downsides, it's got a forward kickstart, so basically as you kick it, which I just found out a moment ago, if it, you know, if the compression catches you, it comes back at you and flirts your knee straight into your chin. So it didn't hit me, but there was one of these looks when I looked at Ben and Ben looked at me and we both did this. As if to say, you know, lost your teeth there, big lad, didn't you? Upsides, obviously we can start this one in gear. It's got some compression, I'll give it that, you know. It's a beast. Oh, but the clutch isn't up to much. But then again, it's Italian. That tells you everything you need to know. Right, non-stop on a bike that's definitely stop-worthy. Now, usually when I ride these sections, I can do it whilst talking, but I couldn't do that on the Bultaco, but I can definitely do it on this. Right, then you stop and operators. Now, you're not going to believe this, but honestly, I am really enjoying riding this Fantic. Now, there's only one thing better than riding a bike like this. It's riding a bike like this with the guy that actually built both of them, and then asking them, what does it take to build a bike like this? And why does he do it? Well, first and foremost, we're going to go through all the things that he's had to do before we talk to him. I'm stuck. I'm definitely stuck, because it's not modern whatsoever. Here we go. Oh, it's still heavy. Oh, that's it. The non-stoppers will be losing their bloody mind now. Now, if you're wondering if this looks like a staged shot, it is. We're even facing the right direction so that the wind shouldn't be too bad, because it is almost the start of November and it's not as warm as it looks at Hawk's Nest today. If you're wondering where is one of the best places to come ride in the UK, I think we can both agree.
Definitely.
Definitely here. You can find them, Hawk's Nest Trials Ground. Right, advert over. Now, what we wanted to do, Ben, is basically sit you down for 5 seconds, because I know that you've got a small collection of bikes that we've had on the channel in the past. See the RTL video, which is still doing really well. And I wanted to try and get, shall we say, your take, because I've just had 5 minutes of riding these. I say 5 minutes, but you know, a few goes of riding these. And I can tell you now, the Bultaco is definitely its own beast. I feel that it's just a completely different style of riding, apart from the Fantic. Why you feel like it's a good idea to keep going down this twin shock road, my friend?
It's just more enjoyable. You don't have to take trials as serious, you don't have to be practicing as much, because you don't have to ride as hard at trials. Just enjoy yourself and pull a twin shock out and go and beat the modern bikes.
Ben is famous for doing that, by the way. Obviously, if you're not based here in the UK and you're watching Trialtube right now, Ben has got quite the affinity for rocking up at club trials, riding one of these two twin shocks and putting it to the guys on the modern bikes in Expert or Inter. And I'm going to say possibly the Bultaco is more of the Inter demon.
Yeah, definitely. You won't ride that in an Expert route. It's a bit numb, bit heavy.
But I mean,
Fantic's good.
Ben, I was just going to say, Ben will attest to this, and from what I've just found out riding that Fantic, which is the 300.
Yeah.
Yeah, it pulls like one. That Fantic 300 rides like a modern bike. So if anybody sees Ben, it's very original and he's trying very hard.
Absolutely.
What do you think keeps you evolving with the twin shocks? Because obviously we've got a 70s bike and we've got an 80s bike, and I know that you've got a TLM as well, which is, shall we say, early 90s?
TLM, RTL. Then even better, the 1965 bike.
Yeah.
Aerial.
Yeah, so we'll probably have that on the channel at some point if I lose my mind. But Ben, again, has got a great affinity to riding that bike really well. It's just, do you feel like there's a different character in each bike?
There's definitely a different character in each bike. Big aerial's great because, again, looks so big and numb, but when you actually ride it, it's quite good to ride and just makes you feel good. You could do majority of the sections that you could do on these to a certain degree and still have a right good ride.
Now, Ben, I can imagine that all of these bikes are sort of like your kids at this point. Ben's 30 years old, and I know he's without kids, but he's got dogs.
Yeah.
So for you, do you feel like, do you ever feel bad if you take one out and don't take another one out?
Not at all. Different weekends, different bike,
different weekends, different bikes. I mean, shout out to Sora as well. I know that Ben's actually got a kit for each different bike, is that right?
I think I have actually, yeah. Fantic kit's in the van. It's a bit cold to start getting changed today.
It is. Me and Ben are wearing the same kit today simply because obviously you can't tell over the camera, but it's bloody freezing. Now, I'm a bit of a, shall I say, a convert, because I'm never one for shouting about how good twin shocks are, or you know, I often voice my opinion when it comes to people saying that non-stop is the future. It's not, by the way, it was the past. But riding these style of bikes, it's just a different way of riding.
It is, and you can ride most modern sections to a certain degree on them.
Yeah, yeah. At no point today have I felt like out of control. I think the big difference is between a modern bike and these, shall we say, modern twin shock bikes, is you're just moving at a slower pace.
Of course you are, yeah.
So you've got more time to think.
Yeah.
Which again begs the argument that if you're on a modern bike, are you moving too quickly to not have to stop and have that pause? Because it's physical. Trials is physical. If you don't already know that, you'll go and ride some trials and you'll find out. But I do feel like any of the two bikes we've rode today, I'd be happy to put in the van and just be like, I'm going to ride that today and be happy about it.
That's why I've got such a collection of bikes. You just pick in the morning, go, I'll take that one today.
Take that one. Well, you've heard it here first. I'm a twin shock convert, so we're coming to a twin shock trial near you, but only borrowing one of Ben's bikes, because I'm telling you now, his bikes ride so well. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it today, and I think probably we're going to end up doing some more riding before we skedaddle.
Might as well.
Might as well. By the way, this has been shot on a Monday, so this is me and Ben definitely not at work. No cuts and a single take. What an animal. Now, we've just said off camera again, what you get from riding these bikes is a sheer feeling of reward.
You do, when you get to the top of that, see it up.
First go.
First go.
First go. As you can tell by the amount of, shall we say, mud that we've taken up the section, and it started to get polished.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Riding a bike like this, up stuff like that, you just get a kind of sense of reward, and you can tell by mine and Ben's current panting situation that we've just had 10 minutes of work. Like, it's all been fun and games until we wanted to get one shot that finished the episode. As always, thank you for watching Trialtube. Please remember to like, share and subscribe. It really does mean a lot to us, because Ben was part of the journey in the beginning on the RTL video. Again, watch that video. It's good, man. It's good. It's a good throwback for an epic bike. And we thought it would be a good idea to do another throwback, but in a modern tinge. Yeah, definitely. And I have had a lot of fun on the side of the hill today. Obviously, we do a lot of these sort of videos and ride old bikes and test new bikes, and sometimes the videos are fun, sometimes they feel like work, and today I feel like it's gone together quite well.
Yeah.
The weather's been all right as well. So the bikes are definitely the stars of the show. If you want to get into any form of twin shock trials, it's quite simple to do. Just ride normal trials and buy a twin shock.
Yeah, Red Rose Club's great for that.
Red Rose Club, you've heard it here first, folks. If you're watching this in a different country, come and visit the Red Rose Club.
Absolutely.
Yeah? They'll be more than happy to have you, and I'm very sure we'll be able to help you if you are travelling abroad to come and ride one of their trials. You know, people that make the effort to travel abroad, such as all those that are going to make the effort that are either going to have ridden or are going to ride the Costa, depending on when this episode goes out. Last but not least, a huge thank you to yourself, Ben, for bringing these bikes down. Also trusting me not to break them. Ben told me earlier on that I'm very, very bad at it, so he was tentative, you know. I was very bad on the Bultaco, I'm not going to lie, the back brake was in the wrong place. As always, thank you, and good night. Wait there, I've got to try and start this now. This is... like that. There we go. Definitely a modern bike. Oh yeah, look at that! Fuel injected ones don't work that well.
No. No.
Sorry, my fault, my fault. I'm trying to jump the gap and not ride it.
Yeah, just ride it.
Ride it. I keep trying to jump the gap.
Yeah, just ride it.
Yeah.
And are you going up there? Or are you just going to end there?
I'll go up there. And he just fucking ride it old school.
No.